Are you thinking about getting a dating coach but don't want to get burned and pick someone who won't be able to help you? By the end of the video, you'll know exactly what to look for in a potential dating coach so you can make the right decision for you. This video will also help you in the decision making of choosing any other general coach, fitness, marketing, relationships, etc. For full transparency, I am also a dating coach, but in this video, I'll be as objective and neutral as I possibly can and give you general frameworks when choosing a potential coach. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room and why the coaching industry has such a negative reputation. The reason is when selling their coaching packages, most coaches often sell unrealistic expectations. In only 5 days, I'll change your life with no effort. As a general rule, anything worthwhile in life takes time and effort, hence this is a blatant lie. And when students buy into these promises and then they fail to reach these outcomes, they obviously get pissed off. However, even if coaching space has many bad players, there are also some good players. And I know because I've hired many of them for business, marketing, and other purposes. But first, let's address the obvious question. Why hire a coach in the first place? Why would you waste money with something that you can do on your own with all the free advice out there? First reason is that most people actually don't reach their goals on their own. And second of all, the people that do reach their goals, majority of them spend way too much time getting there than they would have liked to. So for category 1, they by definition need help because without it, they'll just fail. So if you're in this category, you just need to ask how valuable it is for my life to get to my dream outcome. If it's more valuable than the cost of a coach, it makes sense to hire one. And if you're category 2 and you believe you can get there on your own, it'll just take you a lot of time. It just depends on how valuable your time is. So let's say you have a dream outcome X and you want to do it on your own. And let's just assume that it will take you 1 year to get there with spending an average 1 hour per day. And this will be spread across researching different strategies on the internet, then taking action, then giving yourself feedback and observing your results, then potentially iterating on your strategy and doing new research, etc., etc. So 1 hour per day in 365 days is 365 hours. Now let's say a hypothetical coaching package costs $3,000. Whether or not it makes sense for you to get a coach depends on how valuable your time is. The logic is as follows. If the time to do this on your own is less than time to do it with a coach plus your coaching rate, don't get a coach. If the time to do this on your own is bigger than the time to do it with a coach plus the coaching rate, do get a coach. And now let's calculate your personal coaching rate. So if you're on minimum wage in America, which is $7.25, $3,000 translates into 413 hours. So for you, the equation is 365 hours minus the 413 hours. That's negative 48 hours. So since this is a negative number, it might make more sense to do this on your own. So if you're on average salary in America, which roughly is $29 an hour, this translates into 103 hours. So your equation ends up being 365 minus 103, and this equals 262 hours. So if you can get to your dream outcome with a coach in less than 262 hours, it might make economical sense for you to hire a coach. Now, if you're on top 10% of salary, which in America is $62.50, 3,000 translates into 48 hours. 365 minus 48 is 317. So if you can get to your dream outcome with a coach in less than 317 hours, again, it makes sense to hire a coach. Again, we see that the more valuable your time is, the more it makes sense to hire a help. If we take it to the extreme, if I could save Elon Musk just a few minutes in his day, it would be a no-brainer for him to pay me $3,000 because his time is much more valuable. So whenever people say there's so much information out there, just do it on your own, they automatically assume that your time is not valuable, but you need to make that decision for yourself. So the next obvious question is, how can you estimate how much time a coach will save you? Well, it mostly just depends on how good they are. So what makes a good coach? For me, there are mostly 3 criteria. Number 1 is they have achieved the dream outcome themselves. Essentially, if you're getting a coach to help you get abs, it's critical that they have abs themselves. Because how can they help you get something that they haven't been able to figure out how to get themselves? Now, in some industries, this is easier to see than in others. As we just saw, in fitness, it's relatively easy. You can just see if the coach is fit or not. In dating, if you can see a girl flirting with a guy and he's doing it well, at least you have proof that he can flirt. Now, it's much harder with monetary industries where the dream outcome is to make more money. And the reason is that the coach is teaching you how to make more money while actually making money from you buying his services. And the coach gets to the dream outcome not by what he's teaching you, but by selling his coaching. A classic example of this is someone teaching you how to build your e-commerce business, but then making most of their money from actually selling coaching packages. So you need to validate that the coach got to their dream outcome by indeed what they're teaching you, not by selling coaching packages. Either way, just following this criteria will make your choice much more easier. If you see an overweight fitness trainer promising you amazing results, that's a red flag. Criteria number 2, you resonate with them. Even if a person is great at what they do, it doesn't mean that they can help you. For a coach to be able to help a student must believe in their coach and their methods and the fact that it can actually work for them. Without this confidence, a student will not execute 100% on what the coach is telling them and hence will not get the results. The problem here is that you never really know if it's going to work for you, so here's a bit of a chicken and an egg problem. So my personal solution to this is asking myself, do I resonate with their free content? When I was looking for a marketing coach, I spoke with many people in the industry to see if they could help me. And honestly, with most of them, I didn't develop this trust, and it was quite hard to find a person that I could trust. And then I found a person on YouTube who had a lot less following than the previous coaches that I had spoken to, but I really resonated with his free content. So I ended up hiring him even without jumping on the call with him, just by how he expressed himself and his thoughts through free content. Now this is a very specific case, but most coaches have some sort of free content in terms of videos and free PDF guides. So go and consume it and see if these things resonate with you and help you. So if their free stuff doesn't resonate and help, probably their coaching won't help you as well. And the criteria number 3 is that they are accessible. Even if the person is great at what they do and their advice resonates, they must be available and accessible for them to help you. This is why a lot of people are frustrated when they buy coaching services and expect guidance and all they get is a course. So if you're evaluating any coaching, ask them, what exactly are you getting? Is it one-on-one sessions? Is it group sessions? Or is it just a course? You essentially need 3 things from a coach: some form of step-by-step instructions, getting feedback on your progress, an ability to answer questions repeatedly and support you. Now, a course can give you step-by-step instructions, but cannot really give you feedback or answer your questions. And actually, the biggest value from working with a coach will come from them actually taking a look at your progress and evaluating it and giving you feedback and also answering your questions daily. Because honestly, the implementation is actually the hard part, and this needs to be customized to every single person. Now, with all that being said, how do you actually choose a good dating coach? So here's a specific criteria I would give my friend if he was looking for a dating coach. He has good infield footage. He is flirting with a girl. She's clearly having fun, and it seems like a genuine, authentic interaction. And most importantly, that there are no pickup lines. If the guy says something like, "There's something wrong with my eyes, I can't seem to take them off of you," that's probably a red flag. If he's using pickup lines, it might get some views on YouTube, but it's not good for seduction. Also, if all he does in his infield is giving compliments or asking questions, and then in 30 seconds going for a number, that's also a red flag, because these numbers flake and they never come on a date. He also needs to have some conversational model that he can teach you. If all he teaches you is inner game, and then he tells you to be a masculine guy and hold your frame in a conversation with a girl without actually teaching you any conversational methods and how to flirt, that is a red flag. He's not sexist and doesn't view women as objects or trophies. I would also avoid any red pill coaches. He can outline a concrete plan to help you reach your goals. He has had some long-term relationships in his life. If not, he might not have the emotional maturity to help you retain women after you sleep with them. He has real testimonials and you resonate with his students and their past results. He'll help you one-on-one or at least in a group, because the course won't get you far. You also need to have the option to go out with him either in real life or with him being on the phone with you. He actually needs to be able to guide you in real conversations with women and give you feedback on your progress, and also walk you through how to deal with your anxiety and negative self-talk, which eventually comes up. This needs to be a practical coaching. He'll help you at least for 3 months. You cannot learn any hard skill in a few days, so don't expect any big results from 3-day boot camps. He'll give you homework so you can practice approaching on your own. Ultimately, you need to be able to talk and flirt with a girl on your own, not only when the coach is there. And unfortunately, I met many people who did coaching in the past and wasted a lot of money because they ended up being able to approach only when the coach was there. He also needs to be able to answer your questions daily. If you're taking a lot of action, which by the way, you need to be able to do if you want to get good results, you'll have a lot of questions and your coach coach needs to be able to answer them daily and to give you support. And ultimately, he seems like a good person and that he actually cares. And now here are some factors that actually don't matter as much. Real life versus remote coaching. From my personal experience, I haven't observed any statistical significance in the results from my students who are in real life to the students that I coach remotely. In-person coaching has the higher perceived value and you can meet the coach, get his vibe, etc. But at the end of the day, I still end up listening to their conversations with AirPods anyways. And with remote, you can choose the best coach out there for you in the entire world, not just in your town or city. This is a similar argument to in-person jobs versus the remote jobs. Where the coach is based is also not very important. For example, a lot of Europeans contact me because I'm European, but honestly, any good American coach will be able to help them, and vice versa. Now, culture varies slightly, but at the end of the day, flirting is a universal language, and the same principles apply across the globe. So now you should know whether or not to get a coach, how to evaluate any coach, and how to specifically choose your own personal dating coach. Any questions or comments, let me know down below.